Hola y bienvenida a mi canal. Mi nombre es Soy Red, and my intention for this presentation is to share with you my interest in human design. I believe that the creator of the universe made it quite easy for us to understand ourselves and interpret each other by giving us astrology. Not giving us astrology, but astrology is there, and it's a method in which it's a tool in which we can use to understand ourselves at levels. Let me start again. I believe that the creator of the universe gave us tools in order to help us understand ourselves at deeper levels, as well as understand other people and how we interact with other people. And I think one of these tools is astrology. It literally gives us a language, which this language allows us to express ourselves, articulate different nuances that couldn't otherwise be easily described. And I believe human design. Today we're going to talk about arrows of insight. When you pull up your human design chart, you'll see beside your anja, beside your head, are these arrows. And each person has 4 arrows in their design. Left pointing arrows signify active, structured, specific masculine energy. Right facing arrows signify receptive, fluid, general, feminine energy. The top left arrow is your digestion. It's how you process information and also your nourishment. Then the bottom left is your environment, your relationship with your physical space. Top right, we have your awareness, motivation, the way you learn, your approach to understanding. Then the bottom right, we have your perspective, how you see the world and how you manifest. Top left, digestion, pointing left. This is somebody who learns best with structured study routines and repetition. This is the person who needs to do the drills, the flashcards, the repetition drills. They function well with consistent, structured schedules for their studying. So between this time and this time, you're going to sit down and you're going to focus on this. You also function well with consistent meal times and specific dietary habits. You are not eating the whole buffet. You are eating things very specific to what your body needs. You also can retain better the information when it is focused and logical, in a logical, focused way. And you also thrive in environments that encourage deep concentration. If your top left arrow points to the right, then this energy is expressed in a feminine way. So you learn better in a relaxed, fluid way with no strict study routines. Study when you feel like you want to study. You also can absorb information just by being around information. So this isn't the structured sit down the classroom. This is the immersive play. You benefit from studying intuitively, from eating intuitively, rather than having set meal times and set diets and set routines for eating and studying. You thrive when it's spontaneous and when there's a variety. You don't want to sit down and eat the same meal every single day. You want to sit down. Maybe you don't want to sit down, but you want to dance and eat and pick and play, and that's the way you digest information and your food. Now, if your environment arrow, so this is the left hand bottom arrow, if that arrow is pointing to the left, then you're someone that requires a stable, familiar environment to feel grounded. You thrive when the environment is predictable. You like to wake up in the same bed every single day. You prefer to go on holidays to the same resorts, to the same hotel. You want to know what you are going to expect from your environment. You don't want any secret surprises. You're the last person to get on a plane with blindfold and just be like, you'll find out when you get there. You'd like to know where you're going to be. You also benefit from having long, deep connections to a place where you have lots of friends and family within a place. You feel best when your surroundings are curated. They are intentional. Now, on the other hand, if that arrow is pointing to the right, then you're likely to be somebody who thrives with adventure. You like to always be on the move. You like to be surprised by your surroundings. You like variety. You like movement. You feel energized when you're constantly on the move. You don't need to have a fixed home base. You could be in a camper van. You can travel around and be a hippie and be very free-spirited. You also like to work in different locations rather than a set office space. So you would be the person who would be in the office one day and then in the co-environment the other day and then in somebody's garden the next day doing work, depending on what it is that you're doing, right? And you as a person would also thrive in unpredictable social settings. You're the sort of person who, if they had to move really last minute, that they wouldn't be fazed by it. They easily adapt to new locations easily. Now we're looking at the right hand side of our head, and the arrow at the top, if that one is facing left, then this is your motivation, and you are a person who likes to learn through structured, detailed, orientated study. You're also the sort of person to require repetition and focus and but you benefit from some structure when it comes to keeping yourself motivated. You benefit from schedules, outlines, organized methods of learning, academic environments, environments specifically catered to do what they intend to do. Very systematic, detailed, sequential way of learning and retaining information. Whereas on the other side of that, you are someone who absorbs information naturally over time in a non-linear way. It doesn't have to be so systematically structured. It can be a little bit there and a little bit there. You absorb information through immersion rather than focused study. It doesn't have to be in a place specific to do that specific thing. You can participate in life and understand the information just purely from the experience of it. And you are a person that picks up on the big concepts and the bigger, wider patterns much more intuitively than somebody who is left motivated, who might look at the details. So you're somebody that doesn't need to force learning. Things click when it's the right time to click. It will all come together eventually. So think about this person being creative, more of a big picture thinker than somebody else who is more detail orientated. Last but not least, we have the perspectives on the bottom arrow on the right hand side of the body on your human design chart. There, you're somebody, if it's pointing to the left, you're somebody that can manifest through clear, specific goals and structured plans. This is a person who needs to be very specific with what it is that they want to achieve in life. So think visualization, think affirmation, speaking your desires out loud, using journaling, scripting. I am so happy and grateful now that I have perform some rituals, light a candle, set the intention for the day, make to-do lists, make strategies on how you're going to achieve these goals. You shouldn't do anything. This is someone who may benefit from tracking their progress and focusing on the results of their manifestation. Whereas somebody who is right-facing, they are more of a person who should let go and trust that whatever is meant to be for them will come to them, and to not be so specific with their manifestations, but think about the overall feeling of what they want to achieve in life, and set it and then forget it. Don't be so bogged down with the nitty-gritty details of the manifestation, but think about the general feeling. So you are a person who would work well with surrendering and being patient and trusting in the divine timing, rather than being very specific and scripting out your desires. Just meditate on it and allow and release attachment, so general intentions, being open to multiple possibilities, rather than being so specific as a left-facing perspective person may benefit from. So that's it. This was this is a journey. This is a journey into my gifts. This is what I like to understand myself in this way, and if I can share some wisdom in this journey as part of this journey, then that's great. Thanks for being here, and expect some more human design astrology slide decks presentations.
Bleh.